All right, what's up, Amazon masters? Do you want to save thousands of pounds when importing goods from Chinese suppliers? Well, if so, make sure you stick around until the end of this video, where I will literally save you money as we talk through 4 foundational keys when importing goods. And hey, if you want to free your time up by removing the grip that money has placed over it by building great healthy businesses, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, and join the journey as we build our way to passive income that enables us to make a difference in the world we live in. All right, let's get into the video. Okay, welcome to today's video, where I'm going to be giving 4 foundational keys when importing goods from overseas. A lot of people don't actually make the connection when importing goods that we as business owners are fully responsible for the shipments that we are bringing in. Often we think that our supplier is organizing it all for us, or that we employ a freight forwarder. It means that we can, wash our hands of responsibility and leave it to them. But if we do that, we are setting ourselves up for a fall. What's so important for us is, as business owners, is that we have an understanding of what is happening at each process of the business. Now, it's good business practice to delegate and to build a team that enables you to focus on the most important things. But what we don't want to do when we delegate, we don't abdicate. We don't just remove complete knowledge of what's going on from our plate of responsibilities. And with shipping, it's one of those things that we really do need to know and understand the process, what is happening, and what we are liable for as business owners to ensure that those working with us and for us are doing the best possible job. And here's the thing, right? As a beginner, shipping products from overseas suppliers, it can be one of the most daunting aspects. When you think about how you're producing goods and you have to get them from a supplier, I mean, it's one thing finding a trustworthy supplier. It's another thing, finding a product that's going to work. It is another thing creating that product and designing the packaging and getting it ready for production and going through that whole process. It's another thing getting it produced and getting it inspected to make sure that the product is in good condition and ready to be sold and won't cause you issues down the line. There's so many sort of issues to look at, but it's a whole nother thing when it comes to actually transporting those goods from your supplier in China or wherever that may be to your home marketplace in which you're going to be selling those goods. It can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be when you go on a journey of learning the process. And so there's so much to shipping that we couldn't cover it all in one video, but I just want to cover 4 quick things to help you today. And make sure you stick around till the end, because the last one can literally save you thousands of pounds. Trust me, it can save you thousands. Make sure you stick around for it. So let me give you some of the basics. We're going to jump into some slides here just to give you full on all the detailed content. So let's go. All right, the first one we're going to look at is the most simple and it's the most commonly understood, and that is VAT, simply standing for value added tax. And now this is a consumption tax that applies to sales. Any sales that businesses make that have an annual turnover of £85,000, they must collect this, which is a great opportunity for us. If you are living in the UK and selling in the UK, you actually get £85,000 worth of turnover without having to pay VAT, which is an incredible benefit for us selling in the UK. And that is why I teach and propagate selling in the UK if you live in the UK, because it creates just a great competitive edge for us. In Germany, the threshold is 100,000 euros. In Italy, it's 60,000 euros. France, 35, and Spain, 35,000 euros. And now what those are also are distance selling thresholds for VAT. If you live in Germany and sell in Germany, your threshold to start paying VAT is 100,000 euros of turnover. If you live in the UK and utilize Amazon's EFN, European Fulfillment Network, to ship all of your goods, you can actually distance sell to these countries up to this amount before having to pay for VAT. So it's again a great opportunity for us selling in the the UK when we start out to be able to sell in these marketplaces without paying VAT. Quick disclaimer, I am not an accountant and you should speak to one before starting to sell goods into these countries. But from my experience and my understanding is that you are able to ship and sell products into these countries when using EFN through Amazon. If they try to sign you up to pan-Euro FBA, that's a whole nother scenario, and you will have to sign up for VAT in all of those countries. So if you've got any more questions on that, that's a really complicated topic, please feel free to leave a comment below, ask me, or even better, speak to an accountant. But those are the VAT thresholds. The good thing is that once you collect it, you won't have to pay it. You'll notice in your Amazon transaction reports that you are actually paying VAT on your referral fee, on your PPC, on your fulfillment fee, all of those fees before you're VAT registered and submit your VAT number to Amazon. You will be paying VAT on all of those fees. It's one of the the mistakes I made that I talked about in my video, which will be just popping up just up here, just above my head right now, and that will tell you all about the mistakes I made, and one of those is to not factor VAT into my profitability calculation. So before you reach £85,000 in turnover, you have to pay this on fees and a number of different things, but the good news is that you can reclaim it once you do register for VAT. You can reclaim up to 6 months paid VAT, and so I wanted to cover that. This isn't a VAT video, this is a shipping video, and really it's covering aspects to consider when shipping, but it's good to have a foundational understanding to know why and how we can get the money back at the end. So you can reclaim up to 6 months paid VAT on services, and you can also reclaim VAT that you have paid when importing goods that you still hold in stock. Again, speak to an accountant for clarification. This is my understanding of it, but knowing that will really help you on the final point. So that's number one, is VAT to understand. There's my disclaimer. Number two is customs. Customs is easily confused with duties, and so I want to explain the difference between the two. When someone says customs and duties, we can just think that that is one thing that we have to pay, whereas this is not true. Customs is an authority or agency in a country responsible for collecting tariffs and controlling the flow of goods, including animals, transports, personal and hazardous items into and out of a country. So customs are the people. Customs is the authority that controls the importing of goods, whereas duty is the actual amount of money that you will need to pay in order to import goods. Duty is different to tax in that it is charged on goods, whereas tax is charged on individuals, wealth, services and sales. So when we're paying duties, it's a tariff we pay that's applied to the goods, whereas when we import and pay VAT on those products that we're importing, we are being charged that as a business. The two types of duty are excise duty and customs duty. Excise duty we won't really concern ourselves with too much. It's customs duty that we will be dealing with, which is goods imported from foreign countries. Now you can look up, you can find out what is the tariff code of your product before shipping it, and you can find out what the actual duty will be to be paid in order to make those calculations. It usually ranges from anywhere from 0% to most commonly it's sort of 3 to 6%, but you can obviously find that information out from your supplier, from your manufacturer, and calculate those duty expenses that you're going to have to pay. VAT is a set rate of 20% based upon your cost of goods, the product cost that you're paying to your supplier, and also the cost of shipping. And so you'll be charged that when your product arrives at its destination port. Now here's the thing, number 4, I want to talk about the EORI number. EORI is simply Economic Operators Registration and Identification Number. It's used to identify shipment information quickly at customs, and you can easily get one by going onto the HMRC website. It takes 3 minutes, literally super easy to complete. Now here's the thing, right? Here's where you're going to save a whole load of money. I see it on different Facebook forums all the time, people saying I don't need an EORI, does my freight forwarder really need this, or my freight forwarder told me I don't need an EORI. And I want to just set the record straight, you do need an EORI number. The reason you may not have supplied one to your supplier or your freight forwarder is because they would have been importing goods under their banner, under their VAT number, and customs are cracking down a lot more on this. Just recently speaking to my freight forwarder about changes in the industry. I'm going to do an interview with him soon, so if you've got any questions for him, let me know in the comments below. It's going to be a really great video, but just chatting to him about the business and how things are going, he says that they are cutting down on this so much more, so it's all the more important that businesses have their own EORI EORI number, they understand their VAT liabilities, and that they do it through their business rather than the freight forwarder's VAT structure. And you know, some would question the legalities of this, and you know, that's kind of like moving goalposts at the moment. But what we do know for sure is that it's so important right now in the current climate to make sure that you as a business have this EORI number. And how you're going to save money with that is, even if you wanted to go down the route of allowing your freight forwarder to pay the VAT under their VAT banner, and then you reimburse them and structure it like that, which many freight forwarders have been doing in recent times. If you wanted to just go along with the flow, or you didn't even know any better, you could actually cost yourself thousands of pounds, because when it does come time for you to register for VAT, when you hit the £85,000 threshold in a year, which by the way, when selling on Amazon is really much easier than you could have ever imagined. And so when you hit that threshold, you'll be able to reclaim a whole load of VAT aspects, and one of those will be on the stock that you hold, the goods that you have in your hand at that time. But the only way you can reclaim that VAT is by ensuring that those products were imported under your EORI number. What you need to make sure of is that you obtain something called a C79 certificate. This will show what VAT that you have paid under your EORI number. And when you do sign up for VAT and to reclaim this VAT, what you'll need to submit are those C79 certificates. So make sure you get your EORI, make sure you run that through your freight forwarder, make sure that you get your C79 certificate when you import goods, so that when you do have stock in hand and you do register for VAT, you can reclaim potentially thousands of pounds. So there you go. How about that? I maybe just saved you thousands of pounds by making sure that you do this the right way. So if you've liked today's video, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know if I can help with anything else down in the comments below. I do have a free guide if you're just getting started on this. I realize this can be really overwhelming, so I do have a completely free guide on you know, the overview of this business and how to get started. The link is in the description below. Let me know if I can help with anything else, and I will see you in the next video.